We begin with a preseason game change. The NFL has canceled Thursday night's game between the Texans and the Cowboys. The game had already been moved to Dallas, but now it won't be played at all. So Texans players can get home to their families. Now, proceeds from the game were supposed to go to relief efforts, and ticket holders can get a refund or choose to donate that money directly, according to the Dallas Morning News. Now, our Adam Schefter just tweeted this out a few minutes ago. He said the Texans announced they're traveling back to Houston after local authorities have found a safe route for team to drive home today. That was early around 10 a.m. Schefter put that tweet out. So back here in studio, Graz, what are you hearing from the league about their plan going forward?
For Houston?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, obviously the key decision today was made to let the players and staff of the Houston Texans return home to be with their families. A lot of these families have been kind of uprooted and displaced, and obviously you can imagine being separated for an entire week, wanting to know what's going on, hold your kids, all that kind of stuff. You want to be able to do that. So a preseason game means nothing. You can get rid of it. In terms of week 1, September 10th, Jaguars at Texans. It's a situation still to be monitored. It's 11 days away. We've been talking about that 11 days all day in terms of like quarterback timetables to return to action as a short window. In something like this, it's kind of a long one. They have to take, the situation day to day. Obviously, it can change a lot. As of yesterday, they were going to play this game in Dallas. They changed. So based on the conditions there in Houston, they will make a decision going forward on whether to play that game week 1 in Houston, whether to move it. But I don't think they're ready to make that decision yet. There are much bigger things going on there than football.
There certainly are. And there's been tons of reaction from around the league on the floods. Take a listen.
You never want something like that to happen. I think one thing that, like I was saying, not only the city of Houston, but people all across the country have been finding different ways to help, and so it's a big thing to see the support of the country, and it's great to see.
Stay strong. Stay strong. Houston will overcome. We've been through this before. Obviously, this is catastrophe, one of the worst of its kind. But stay strong. You see how the community comes together, and we will overcome this because we have a lot of great people in the city of Houston and in the great state of Texas. They call us the Lone Star State for a reason. Very strong-minded people, work-hard people, blue-collar. We will overcome this.
I would just urge everyone who can help. Every little bit, matters. And everyone that's out, risking their life to bravely rescue people, we sending all our prayers and, just wishing the best.
So many voices and lots of tweets out there, too. Broncos running back Jamal Charles, a Port Charles, Texas native, tweeted, "Heartbroken over what I see happening in my hometown. I pray that rescuers are on their way to help. Stay strong, Port Arthur." Darren, you live just a few hours away from where this is all happening. This doesn't just affect, Houston Texans players. A lot of NFL players call this place home.
Yeah, well, first of all, I'm proud to be a Texan and to see the support that's been provided in the city of Texas, the players that are current players, former players, and all around Texas. Everyone's rallying for Houston, trying to get that support there. But we saw these guys that Andy Daltons and Arakpo and all these guys that are from the city. There's so many players, not only that lived in the city, grew up in the city, but migrate there in the off season to train because it's a place where you can go out and you can train. Taxes are always good in the state of Texas, for one. And a lot of players do come there to do that all together. But they're concerned. It's not about just the Houston Texans and their players. There's a lot of these players around the league whose families are still there, whether it be wives, sons, daughters, mothers. There's a lot of family members that are still there suffering through this. So this has affected the entire NFL family as a whole.
Yeah, having a family of my own and understanding the emotion that you saw on the faces of the coaches and the players of the Houston Texans and how much it was tearing at them to not be there. It was the absolute right thing to do to let these guys get back there and see what they can do to help, not just for their own families, but for everyone else who was down there who was in harm's way. Because in situations like this, you need obviously well wishes and you need the support of other people from afar, but you need boots on the ground. You need people actually there helping, and you need to be there depending upon what your situation is, I mean, you need to be able to help. And if you don't really need to help yourself individually, then you need to go out and help others. I mean, I sometimes, not to make light of anything concerning this situation, but look, I'm someone who will start panicking when my electric goes off in a thunderstorm, let alone a situation like this where a whole region is now just devastated. Football was really not the priority in any way, shape, or form. I'm sure once this decision was made, players were like, look, just get me there, get me in the area, and let me just see what I can do. Because that's how football players are. That's how athletes are anyway. They want to help.